Fraternity has been hosting the Human Rights Festival that is currently underway, and we now cross to the Conhill in Joburg, where Pearl is standing by. Very good morning to you, Pearl.
Good morning to you, Simpiwe. Indeed, the Human Rights Festival has been underway here at the Conhill. It's quite a hive of activity at the moment, so much that is happening. We are, of course, looking forward to that We the People run, the We the People walk rather, and of course the We the Children walk that will also be taking place here today. But for now, I am joined here by PJ Powers, one of South Africa's most iconic voices when it comes to music, and I'm also joined by one of the board members of Conhill, Mr. Neeshan Bolton. PJ, I'll come to you today. You've got a new song and you'll be launching it here today. Won't you tell us about a Walk in My Shoes?
Walk in My Shoes is about, basically, I have been working with the Kolisa Social Solutions and the Tuli Madonsela Foundation, and I've been working in Kliptown for 2 years. And for 2 years I've wanted to write a song giving those people a voice about what it's like to live without fundamental human rights like toilets and running water and proper homes and things like that. So basically what I've done is I've written it in the first person, and I've written it as if somebody with nothing meets somebody with everything in a room and what that person would say. And I did speak to a lot of the people that I'm working with in Kliptown, and they said that I had captured it. I hope so. It's very difficult from my privileged position to imagine what it's like to live like that, but I have been working with these people for 2 years, and and I'm hoping that today before the walk I'll get a chance. I am performing it before the walk starts, and that people will listen to the lyric, because human rights, we still have a long way to go, and we've had the wonderful Human Rights Festival here at Consitution Hill. We've still got a hell of a long way to go, and we can't expect the government to do anything. No government anywhere in the world tends to all of the rights of the people. We, the citizens, we the people, have to take human rights and social justice by the scruff of the neck and become partners with the government. And in fact, don't even worry about what they're doing. There is a lot that's being instituted now, but we as people have to make the country, and we have to try and bridge the divide between the have and the have-nots. It is still way too large, and it's not right that 10% of the people have 90% of the wealth. That's a statistic I don't want to live with for much longer.
Indeed. Neeshan, let me come to you. Being part of the Constitution Hill board, talk to us about the significance of this historic place, just in relation to the Sharpeville massacre that took place here all those years ago.
Well, this particular site is really a history of imprisonment that goes back over 100 or 150 years. So the old fort was really a prison. Today, however, symbolizes a new set of values enshrined in the Constitution, and that's why the Constitutional Court was located here as well. The whole precinct, however, is going to become a hub for all human rights organizations and activities, and what you are seeing now is really part of what Conhill has become. A place where we not only live our human rights, we can express those human rights, but also where we educate and teach about the ongoing struggles for human rights on a day-to-day basis. And that's what Conhill has become over the last two to 3 years.
Right. PJ, let me come back to you. I said in my intro that you're one of South Africa's most iconic voices, and I think it's fantastic that you've used your talent and your creativity to raise awareness for such a, something that is so important. The human rights of our people is quite important. What is your message to greater South Africa?
I think that my message is get involved, people. It's time to stop sitting in armchairs and shouting over high walls. It really is. That time is over. get involved. With regards to, I've always been involved in human rights. This is not a new thing for me. My career is 36 years old, and I think I wrote There Is an Answer 30 years ago, and that was a human rights song. But most of all, I just want to congratulate Constitution Hill, because they've hosted over 70 NGOs here. They've had poetry, they've had reading, literature, books, they've had interactive storytelling, they've had music. This afternoon, there's a commemorative show right down there, which is where I'm going to sing my song from, which is a commemorative show for Hugh Masekela, for Bra Hugh, remembering him. And it's just, I would just love to see more people come to Constitution Hill, learn about our history, learn about what was, learn about why we are where we are. And then I believe that I think that being conscious is one of the most important things. And too many South Africans are not conscious of the people that don't have human rights. And that's what I hope my song does. And that's what I hope that Constitution Hill does, that the public does, is my message to the public is, please, we need peace, we need democracy, we need your help. And don't leave it up to the few that always do it.
Indeed. And Neeshan, what else can be done to further protect, the human rights of our citizens? And what can our citizens do as well to take responsibility of the rights that they have been given?
I think, as PJ has said, we all have a voice. It's how we use that voice. And I think in many cases people are just silent when they see a violation of human rights, from the smallest to the biggest of things, and we tend to then be quiet because we think somebody else must do the work, or if we open our mouths we might have to do something about it, and therefore we're quiet. And I think that's once we break that silence, as we've done over issues of corruption in the last 2 years, we now need to extend that to all areas where there are visible human rights failings in this country, from the kind of sanitation services in our schools, the plight of the aged in this country, the plight of the disabled in this country, should force all of us to do much, much more than we are currently doing. And I think it's within the ability of just about every human being in South Africa today who has slightly more privileges than the other, to in fact see it as their responsibility to do more on a day-to-day basis. Use your voice as a start.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Neeshan. Thank you so much. PJ, my fave, Tandega is what I used to call you. Well, there you have it. Simpiwe just spoke to one of the board members of Conhill, Neeshan Bolton, and as well as one of South Africa's most loved musicians, PJ Powers, who will be performing her brand new song here today. She's been doing incredible work just in trying to preserve the human rights of our people and preserving that dignity. It's time for us to take a quick break. We'll be back to speak to some more guests that will be here today. But yeah, for now we take a quick break. Do stay with us.
This is your midday report. Good afternoon.